Yeah, thank you, Bill.
Thank you so much, Guy. It's been a pleasure to hear you speak about that pivotal year in Abraham Lincoln's life and career. So we're going to open it up to folks in the audience, and we're going to use a microphone. So, first question.
Guy, would you say something about the content of the speeches in Kansas as it relates to what he said at Cooper Union?
Yeah, they were essentially the same message. I don't know if any of you read Cooper Union. It's a long, relatively boring speech, but it's virtually a lesson on the history of slavery in America. It's remarkable. And so there's not, his basic message was always the same, that we're not trying to abolish slavery, that we don't want to touch it where it exists, but we must not allow it spread. America needs to stop it dead in its tracks. And that was the basic message of those speeches. Yes, sir.
Guy, where was the trial for the fellow that was acquitted? His name was Peachy, you said?
Yeah, Peachy Harrison was in the Circuit Court of Sangamon County.
Okay.
It was in, I didn't mention that, I'm glad you asked. Pleasant Plains was the town where the murder occurred.
Okay.
And I did mention this is the irony of that case. Peachy's grandfather was, Yeah, Peter Cartwright, thank you, who was the absolutely, if there's ever one politician, he was a Bible-thumping Methodist minister that had absolute contempt for this godless man, Lincoln, and who was pro-slavery. And I think they ran against each other when Lincoln ran for Congress. So if there's one person in the world that Lincoln really disliked, it was Peter Cartwright. And here he is defending Peachy, Cartwright's grandson, and Cartwright was one of the witnesses he put on the stand. I just cannot imagine that scene. It would be very interesting.
Other questions?
Yeah, my question is, Lincoln's last law partner, Lamone, I don't really come across much information on him, and I don't know in your book.
What was the name?
Lamone, L-E-M-O-N.
Yeah, he was not a law partner.
Okay.
He was from Danville.
Okay.
And Lincoln knew him there, and they associated sort of, anytime Lincoln came to town, Lamon, or it'd be Lamon, Ward Hill Lamon, he would be, they would associate on the cases. And so there are those who call it a partnership, but I think that's a stretch. It wasn't that tight. But Lamon ended up here. He was the state's attorney, and for McLean County, there was only one state's attorney for the whole county, or excuse me, for the whole circuit. And so he was a prosecutor. His wife died here and is buried in Evergreen Cemetery.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We have time for one or two more questions. Certainly there's somebody in the audience. Okay. Again, let's give a nice hand to Guy Fraker.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you again, Guy. We don't want to just leave just yet. I'm going to hand off the microphone.
Thank you all for joining us for this Lunch and Learn. Our next one is going to be on November 9th with the owner of Parr's Rugs. We're going to be talking about the history of that art form and how you can preserve your Persian rugs. We also have another upcoming Lincoln program for all you Lincoln fans in the audience that will be on October 24th at 6 p.m. with author Ed Acorn. That will also be here in the courtroom and live online, so we hope to see you back for that. Thanks again for joining us.
Can I just add a P.S.? I've known Acorn for years. When I did my book tour, I ended up at the Brown bookstore in Brown University bookstore in Providence, and Ed was on the staff of he was a reporter on the Providence newspaper, so I got to know him then. And I have his book. It's called The Lincoln Miracle, and it's a wonderful book, and I can't imagine how good his talk will be, so I'd urge everybody to come here and speak. He's a good speaker and a great storyteller.
Thank you, Guy.
Sure.
That book is available for purchase in our gift shop downstairs if you're interested as well. So, have a good afternoon. Thanks.